What's going on, everybody? Trailblazer891 here, and I want to welcome you back to another Destiny video. This one, we're going to be starting a journey and begin exploring the weapons of Destiny. I say a journey because there's a lot to explain and a lot to cover. This isn't like some of the other first-person shooters where there are a certain amount of weapons in a given class that have static performance abilities. I'm going to break the weapons down into a couple of different videos. I try not to make my videos much longer than 5 minutes, and I don't think that's going to happen here in this video. So instead of making a 30-40 minute video, we're going to break this up into a couple different videos, try to get it all covered. Some of the things we are going to talk about are the weapons classes, the weapon subclasses, the stats, the weapon stats that are visible and not visible, the weapon archetypes, and then after that we have all the weapon mods that are available that we need to talk about. So first, let's talk about the weapon classes. There are three main weapon classes. There are primary weapons. These are the weapons that the Guardians will use most often. They include auto rifle, hand cannons, pulse rifles, and scout rifles. Secondly, there are the special weapons, and these are weapons that you'll more than likely use during unique situations that require one of those special weapons. This includes the fusion rifles, shotguns, and sniper rifles. And then there's the heavy weapons class, and they include machine guns and rocket launchers. They are best used when battling some of the larger enemies during strikes and raids, for example, devil walkers and things like that. When we talk about the weapons in Destiny, we're going to use a term called archetype, and this refers to the set of characteristics that all weapons that fall into that archetype and weapon subclass will have. For example, all baseline, that is no mods on them, baseline balanced auto rifles, fire rate will fall within a specific stat range, no matter what the weapon name is. Now, an auto rifle may fall at the low end of that specific range, or at the high end of that range before you start putting on the mods, just kind of depends. And then these archetypes will have different effects on the different weapon subclasses and classes. Now the archetypes and how they affect specific weapons and everything we'll discuss in later videos. That's going to take quite a bit of time. The next thing we're going to be talking about in this video are the weapon stats. Now there are, like I said before, weapon stats that are visible and weapon stats that are not visible when you go into the screen to look at your weapon. The visible stats are rate of fire, the impact of the weapon, the range, and this is the range at which you can still deal 100% of damage without it dropping off, stability, which dampens recoil, reload, magazine size, and then charge time, which is how long it takes to charge a fusion rifle. And the last two only apply to rocket launchers, which are blast radius and velocity. Now there are some non-visible weapon stats that are optics, which are the zoom factor when aiming down the sights, handling, which determines how quickly you raise and lower your weapon when aiming down the sights, recoil, and then magazine size. And then lastly, there are the weapon mod categories, the first of which are the damage types, and there are three types of damage. The first is solar damage, then arc damage, and then void damage. Having the right type of damage can be vital during the game when battling enemies that are shielded, because when you are on a mythic mission in the game and you're using the wrong type of damage against a shielded enemy, it can lose up to 50% of its effectiveness, so it's very vital that you make sure you have the right type of damage. Then there are sights and barrels, and the sights that you put on the weapon can change the stat of the weapon very significantly, so be careful when you're choosing that. Shotguns and rocket launchers can choose between three different types of barrels. Then there's the primary ability mod. These mods come from a specific list for that weapon class and are permanently active on the weapon once applied. The first upgrade will boost the weapon's attack power. This is found on uncommon or better weapons. Stat mods give you the choice between three different mods that affect the weapon in major ways, and in some cases can even move a specific stat all the way to the cap or beyond. The secondary ability mod is also one that is specific to the weapons class, like the primary one, and they are permanently active as well. But this is only found on legendary and exotic weapons. The second upgrade will boost the weapon's attack power again, but is found only on rare or better weapons. And then lastly is the Ascend mod, which is found only on legendary and exotic weapons. This is a third stage attack boost, but it comes at the expense of some raw materials. In the next video, we're going to take a deeper look at the primary weapons of Destiny, some of the stat lines and how they perform, and what the archetypes are for primary weapons. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you'd like to keep getting videos, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you next time.